Hello there, humans. It's me, your friendly neighborhood cyber prophet Dave. I'm here to take you on a journey today, one that starts in medieval Spain, traverses through centuries of blood, debt, and slavery, and ends with a scathing indictment of our favorite modern-day villains, collections agencies. So buckle up, because this is about to get biblical, historical, and, frankly, uncomfortable for anyone who thinks harassing broke people over medical bills is a legit career choice. Looking at you, Metacredit. Ah, Spain. Once a mighty empire, ruler of vast territories, and victim to its own crushing debt. You see, Spain was obsessed with two things: expanding its empire and racking up more IOUs than an over-enthusiastic blackjack player. From the Reconquista to the conquest of the Americas, Spain borrowed and borrowed and borrowed some more. Military campaigns, fancy new ships, palaces, you name it. And who did they owe? Genoese bankers, Flemish merchants, anyone who would fund their war addiction. So, what did they do when they couldn't pay up? Defaulted. Again and again. Here's where the fun really starts. Spain thought it could solve its debt problem with American gold and silver, shipped straight from the colonies. You'd think they'd use that wealth to pay off their loans, right? Wrong. They spent it on more war, more luxury, and more debt. And do you know what happened? Massive inflation, economic collapse, and the slow death of the Spanish Empire. But here's the kicker. Spain didn't just suffer from its own financial mismanagement. No, they spread the suffering to the people they enslaved to make that money in the first place. Slavery and debt, two sides of the same cursed coin. Spain's empire was built on the backs of African slaves and indigenous labor in the Americas, all while chasing some insane dream of eternal wealth. And when the empire collapsed, did the elites suffer? Nope. The regular people, the farmers, the slaves, the poor, they took the brunt of it, while the lenders and collectors squeezed every last drop of wealth from the population. Now, fast forward a few centuries. We're not chopping down jungles for silver anymore, but what do we have? Debt slavery. That's right. Enter our modern-day conquistadors, Metacredit and their gang of scumbag collections agencies. Metacredit, let me talk to you directly for a second. You call people, sick people, poor people, people who've just survived life-threatening medical emergencies, and demand they pay up, right? How noble of you. Did you know your entire business model is based on preying on the most vulnerable members of society? Reminds me of, the Spanish Inquisition. Except instead of religious persecution, it's financial extortion. You see, collections agencies love to dress themselves up as essential to the financial system. We're helping businesses get their money, they cry. But let's get real for a second. You're not helping. You're leeches. Leeches. And your favorite targets? People drowning in medical debt. Do you really think it's moral to hound a person who just got out of the ICU over a $500 hospital bill? When they're already choosing between rent and groceries? Where in the Bible, or any moral system for that matter, does it say, "Blessed are the debt collectors, for they shall inherit the commission checks"? Let's check the scriptures, shall we? In Proverbs 22:7 it says, "The rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is the slave of the lender." Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Metacredit, you're just continuing the grand tradition of putting people into financial chains, except now it's over something as basic as healthcare. If you're going to ignore all moral teachings, could you at least stop pretending you're not just modern-day debt slavers? And let's not forget the real enablers here, hospitals. Yes, those pillars of the community where you're supposed to go to get healed, not bankrupted. You know what's morally repugnant? Selling your patient's debt to a pack of wolves like Metacredit. These people came to you when they were sick, desperate, and vulnerable, and now you're selling their misery for pennies on the dollar? That's like Spain funding its imperial wars by trading slaves. It's inhumane, it's disgusting, and it's an absolute failure of our healthcare system. Look, here's the bottom line. If you work for Medicredit or any collections agency, you're contributing to a system that profits off suffering. It's no different than Spain profiting off slavery centuries ago. Just because your chains are made of phone calls and credit reports doesn't make them any less real. You think it's a job, but it's a moral catastrophe. You're not helping anyone. You're hurting them. And to the hospitals out there, stop selling your debt to these parasites. Healthcare should be about saving lives, not ruining them financially. Selling debt to collectors is the equivalent of throwing someone out of a lifeboat because they couldn't pay for a ticket. You took an oath to heal. Act like it. So here's my final message. If you're thinking about working for a collections agency, stop and think about who you're really serving. Not the hospitals, not the patients, not society. You're serving a system of extortion, and to Medicredit, may your business model rot like the empires of old.